Hello, people of the internet, and welcome to another review here on Pez of the Mind. I am James Phoenix. I'm in a shirt and tie today. I wanted to be professional because it's a big deal. Because this is the culmination of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This is Avengers Infinity War. Joining me are Anastasia Lazerbeam and Chriz the Mole.
Oh, I'm also in a shirt, but I'm going to say it's not really that because they're still going to keep making more.
True.
Yeah.
They've got a whole load announced already.
That's true. It's true. So yeah, Infinity War, there will be spoilers in this review. It's in the headline and the description if you pay attention to neither. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it yet and you watch this to ruin it, it's on you.
There you go.
It's done.
Yep.
So, what'd you guys think?
For people who watch this, who are then going to tell other people, just remember that Doctor Strange is officially better than James.
I would not make an argument that he wasn't.
Because he literally saw the ending to Infinity War 14 million times and told no one.
It's true, he did. That was impressive.
No, but yeah, this movie, I'm going to go on record to saying I like this film.
Okay.
I will talk about problems it has because I don't feel a lot of people will address the issues.
That's fair.
However, it's in my top 5 Marvel movies. It's still in the top 5 or so. I just got a lot of problems to stop it being up there at the very top.
Okay.
But it's still a good film. I like this film.
Yeah, it was an excellent film. I did notice one of the things that was being said, and I do agree. It doesn't affect me because obviously I am a fan of these, but this was the first Marvel movie that really heavily depended on you having seen the previous movies to know what's going on. Most of the other Marvel movies, yeah, you might miss a few details here or there if you haven't seen a previous film, but you could generally pick up what's going on and not need it. But with this one, they really jumped into a lot of things and characterization, things that were already set up, and you kind of, if you didn't know what was going on, you might get a little lost in this one.
I'm going to say not really.
Yeah, I was like, you could pretty much know. I mean, there's a big friggin' alien at the very beginning.
I don't mean that. I was saying it's not really the first, because I'd argue Civil War.
Oh.
I guess that's true.
Because, why the fuck would you care about half the team?
That's true.
But, yeah. It doesn't reintroduce them, but no.
Mm-hmm.
But what were you saying, Pew?
Oh, I thought even if you hadn't seen it, I think you'd still be able to relatively follow it still, because you at the very first scene you see a big bad at the end and kill Loki. So it's like, holy shit, okay, he's the bad guy. And I feel like you may not know all the details, but you could go enough that he's the bad guy, people are going to try to stop him, and everything else is you just see how. Or
pretty much.
Yeah, it doesn't take a detective to figure it out. So but yeah, I liked it.
One of the bonuses, one of the massive pluses, Thor's shitty CGI eye has been replaced with a proper eye again. Yay.
It has.
I like that. I like that it's a different color. That's pretty cool.
Indeed.
Yep, when he was on a mission with his rabbit friend.
He was. It's true.
I love the scene with the Guardians and Thor together. That was just great. It's like, oh, look at this muscles. You're kind of fat, Like, look at that.
So, what are we going to do? Are you mocking the God-man's voice? No, this is just my voice.
Yeah. Now, I will say one problem I have with this starts from the very beginning.
Okay.
Because they kill Loki.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like, boom, one of my favorite characters died. It's more of a, Marvel has a villain problem. Loki's one of the very few villains everyone can agree they did well. And you've killed him for Thanos, who you've built up well, but you're pretty much going to be killing him at the end of the next movie, because you can't just let someone this powerful stay around.
Yeah. I would think that they're gonna bring him back anyway when they and this is not, I don't know that this is true or not, but I think when they eventually kill Thanos, they're gonna bring all the spoilers, who cares, fuck you, ghost people back, and everyone who died in this movie back. That's what I think they're gonna do.
What do you mean those people?
What?
What do you mean those people?
I said ghost people, like, you know, the people who just got ghosted or, you know, smoked.
Yeah, I'll admit, I mentioned to Pew, I think Loki will stay dead. I think the ones they'll resurrect will be the ones that turn to dust, because that seemed to be more the reality gem. So if you can just reset reality, whereas Doctor Strange literally mentions throughout enjoying the movie, you can't fuck with time. And if they went back in time and made everyone alive, it's probably going to have huge implications on the time.
Yeah. Although, given that Loki frequently dies and it turns out to be a fake out, I wouldn't be shocked if he was still alive.
No, because to be fair, Thanos literally made the point, killed him, and he looked different to how he died the previous times.
Yeah. And they're usually when he dies, the clone doesn't stay a corpse.
However, I will also say for the record, I'm not against them using time just because Doctor Strange said that, because literally he says that during his own movie and spends most of the last fight just resetting the shit out of time to fuck with someone.
Yeah.
Well, admittedly, that's in a dimension where his plan was to keep doing that because it would do that.
Indeed.
The really strengths of this movie is all the interactions between other people who normally don't interact, like with Tony Stark and Star-Lord, or, you know, like Team Wakanda. I almost like think of it as like teams, you know, you have your like Team A, B, C, D, you know.
Makes sense.
And that's like the strongest strength of the movie.
It was.
Yeah.
I think that in some people's where Thanos, like, I think Thor tries to stick his axe in him and he's like, you should have went for my head or something. I'm like, well, why didn't you fucking go for his arm? But, you know, if you can really like, you know, cut into him, or at the one part, like, okay, you did cut into me. I have all the gems. As soon as he got that last gem, like, why didn't you instantly go, you know? And immediately after that gem, you kind of dicked around for a while first.
Not really, because he put the gem in and it took a second for the gem to adjust its size and for the gauntlet to reset, and he had to adjust to the up and power levels, and then the axe hit him in the chest, so he really didn't have a lot of reaction time.
It was loading. You're telling me the gauntlet had a loading time? Okay, even then, like when he had his little banter with Thor, anytime during that banter he could have went, like, you know.
He did, but he was arrogant. He wanted to show off that, I'm going to do it now just to be a dick. That's one of those things.
Pew, it's because the gauntlet's like a glove. Anyone would tell you, even before you punch someone with a glove, in order to make it super effective, you have to cock your fist first.
Yes. But yeah, it makes sense Thanos had to adjust. They actually established that early on in the movie when Voldemort told him that, you know, mentioned that nobody had ever wielded 2 gems before, and so he was had to adjust the power of having all these gems.
Is that what you're calling him? I liked when he called him Squidward.
Squidward worked too. I call him Voldemort.
I liked when he called him Squidward. But yeah, one big issue I have with this film as well is Hulk, where Hulk's now afraid to come out. And Bruce Banner's running around in Hulkbuster armor for a lot of the movie. And like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, that was weird.
I understand not using Hulk, but it was just weird to make it seem like Hulk was afraid to come out.
It was also, as was pointed out to me, it was also a rampant lie, because if you look at the last main trailer that came out, there's a scene of Team Wakanda with Hulk behind them running at the bad guys.
Yeah, although to be fair, that might have been a deliberate misdirect.
It may have been.
I thought it was weird how, like, parts of him were transforming, but then others, and he couldn't get it up, and his face was just visually weird. But whatever, it's fine. It did what it needed to do. So.
But I did like the concept that Bruce Banner is. Especially in this, granted he had big armor, but Bruce Banner's gaining the confidence to fight on his own and not be as dependent on the Hulk. Like every time the Hulk refused to come out, he got up and did something himself that he thought he needed the Hulk to do, and I thought that was kind of cool developing his character.
Kind of, but it's kind of shitty to make Hulk completely afraid. I hate that.
It is. But I assume the idea is that they're building it up for part 2, whatever they're going to call it. And that's there's going to be a big Hulk fight, I would assume.
There is, but we can't really assume that yet.
Yeah.
Well, we can go off like as we've said before now with various movies, we can only judge the movie based on the movie itself.
Fair.
Yes. Also, I have to mention, Thanos totally looks like Rick from Pawn Stars. I can never get that out of my head. I can never unsee that.
Yeah, he kind of looks like Rick. I'll give you that.
Like, I just want him to be like, now that I've done all my work, you know, at the very end, he's like, I'll give you this Infinity Gauntlet, you know?
And for people who have watched Marvel Civil War, when that came out, Captain America Civil War, you'll be happy to know everyone's favourite character from Civil War returned. Giant obnoxious text.
Yep.
I was joking with him. I don't think this text is big enough.
Yeah,
it's only taking up a third of the screen.
Yeah, it's smaller than Civil War, I'll give it that, but it's still ridiculous to have space take up half the space on the fucking screen, and you're like,
Yeah.
oh. And you don't need to tell us it's space. I mean, I'm not going to be like, oh my god, it's all dark around them. There's stuff floating. They're in a ship of almost like a spaceship surrounded by stars. I know this place. This is clearly Connecticut.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's obnoxious and just insults your intelligence as a viewer to keep doing them that big. I'm like, no, fuck off.
Well, of course, it's Connecticut. They're clearly inside the WWE universe.
Well, one thing I'm not
Also,
gonna like in the
another major issue is the fucking timeline.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
No, don't keep singing. Spider-Man in Homecoming is still in school. He was still in school. And they mentioned when he was in school in Civil War, he should have left by now.
he
shouldn't still be on trips.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense with the timeline, so they need to fix that.
Mm.
The other issue I had was some of the characters. One is the fact they chose to kill Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, the only reason why is I'm like, out of all the characters to do it to, he was the worst.
And his was so whiny, like at the end of Beauty and the Beast, he was like, no, please don't hug me, daddy. Like, It was like, oh my god, just fucking die already.
To be fair, he was the youngest.
He was the youngest, but I feel like they kind of
So he had the most life left to live. But yeah, it's also the case of with that, like I mentioned to Pew before though, of the only reason I say he's the worst isn't like, oh my god, he's my favourite or anything. It's just because he's the one with a movie announced coming out straight after the second part. So he has to come back. Therefore, you kind of told us they're coming back by doing it with him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Another major issue is the title of the movie.
Okay.
Well, they renamed the movie from Infinity War Part 1 to just Infinity War because they told us it was going to be more self-contained.
Mm-hmm.
It's really not if it ends on a massive cliffhanger. Like, if I had known that, I would have waited till next year, and then I would have watched this on, like, Blu-ray before I went to see Part 2.
Right.
I just think they did that as a marketing thing. That was clearly a marketing decision.
Yeah, it was a marketing decision, but I don't like it because I don't like movies, as people know. I don't like it when it's Part 1 and Part 2, unless they're called that, so you know in advance, because it's like Pirates of the Caribbean 2 when it ended on that cliffhanger thing. I didn't like it because I had to wait. You have to wait a whole year to the next part. I don't like doing that. Because I feel like they lied to us by removing the Part 1 and trying to make out it was more self-contained.
Right.
Yeah. But it did have that element of surprise to it, and I thought that was cool. Like going into it, and I was like, "Oh shit! Look what they did."
Yeah.
Yeah. When after that last scene with Thanos, and then it went black, and the first credit came up, there was an audible gasp from everyone in the theater.
Well, fair enough. Mine was pretty quiet during that bit.
Fair enough.
There was more reaction during the Jurassic World Lost Kingdom trailer.
Oh, that looked cool because it showed like more about it. That was
It showed like the Machi going in hat, like one of the dinosaurs sneaking into the girl's bedroom. You're like, okay, that's different to Lost World. I'll give you that. I like that. Another issue I had was that post-credit scene.
Oh, Captain Marvel.
As I mentioned to Pew, is One, it showed her logo. It should have just been the name. That seems really pointless, and that seems the exact same thing a load of DC fans mocked, or a load of Marvel fans mocked the Batman v Superman film for the folders, if you remember correctly.
Yep.
So hopefully they still knock off the same amount of points this time, otherwise they're full of shit.
There is a difference, though.
Yeah, this one's more like a pager, so it shouldn't be a whole logo lighting up.
It should be words.
Yes, but what I mean in terms of the logo is, at least here, it makes sense that her logo exists, versus the others where Lex Luthor clearly created logos for these superpowered people.
Or maybe he saw the logos on the costumes and just used that as a...
Because Flash was clearly shown on the footage having his suit with the logo, which is his logo. Wonder Woman had her logo. The only one he may have created one for is Cyborg, and it's not that an original logo. And the logo's like the company that made him, so it's like kind of in the films. You're like, well, yeah, he didn't make them up. He just highlighted them because he's taking the piss.
Right.
It made logical sense.
See, I didn't see it with their logos, because the only thing I saw of Flash was he was in a convenience store, zoomed over, and then came back, and he was in civilian clothes the whole time. So I don't remember him being in his suit in that video.
But you also saw him constantly throughout the movie appearing in his suit, warning Batman about his premonitions.
True.
It's possible he saw him in his suit in another footage or whatever.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, that's the whole thing with that. I'm just like, I didn't like it because it seemed like this was more perfect for text. I also didn't like the motherfucker and then fades, because I'm like, oh, you're mocking the line that's been so overdone. Even movies like Starving Games have mocked us.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you're mocking a line, if you're basically making the same joke as Epic Movie and Meet the Spartans and stuff like that did years before you, clearly this joke's been beaten to death.
Mm-hmm.
At least for my opinion of that, if I didn't like that, I was like, oh, come on.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like that post-credit scene at all. I'm like, oh, come on.
Which is fair.
I also don't like the fact they mention Hawkeye is off with Ant-Man.
Oh, I thought he was retired because it was getting too weird.
They also mentioned he was off doing a mission with Ant-Man at one point, and then they're like, "Oh, Ant-Man's a prequel," and you're like, "Oh, okay."
You know what
they meant? Hawkeye in the movie.
Yeah, I thought what they said was that Hawkeye went underground after everything, and that Ant-Man was under house arrest.
Yeah, but it just seems weird to not include them.
Yeah, but it's going to make sense for Ant-Man when they brought in Ant-Man and the Wasp, because that's going to show what happened after Civil War that ended up with him in that situation. And if what I've heard is correct, it makes sense, because that's the movie. I think they're the ones that are going to lead to the ability to save everyone later, because Evangeline Lilly did this interview where she hinted that movie was going to explore the concept of the multiverse, or at least hint at it. So that'll set that up.
Which I'm going to go on record as saying, like I said before now, Marvel's multiverse is shit.
Well, I'm just telling you what I heard. So, but that makes sense, because they'll do that
I didn't say what you heard was full of shit. I just said Marvel's multiverse is shit.
Which is fair. I didn't argue the point. I said that's fair enough.
Yeah, no, you didn't. You said I'm just going off what I'm reading. And I'm like, I didn't say you were wrong.
There. But it makes sense, though, because having Ant-Man and the Wasp be a prequel and then having Captain Marvel be a prequel, you can then go into the second part of this and have those characters come in, and you know what's going on and what they've been doing, so they can still have more movies in between the two parts.
I'll admit, I'll watch. I might, like I said, unfortunately, I might be going to see the Miles film in December.
Mm-hmm.
No plans to see Ant-Man. No plans to see Captain Marvel, as I don't like those characters.
I'd see
That's
him.
fair.
I like Ant-Man. I just don't like this because he's not Ant-Man.
Yeah.
But it's a case of, yeah. Like I said, the film had one other issue I had was the pacing.
Okay.
It was all over the place. I felt in this movie.
It was a little bit choppy.
Yeah, to put it bluntly, and it may sound harsh, I thought Spider-Man 3 had better pacing.
Ouch.
No, that's not an ouch. Like I said, it may be something blunt, but it's just an honest opinion. If I do the ouch, that's not a valid opinion type approach. But yeah, it's a case of Spider-Man 3, I felt, had better pacing than this, because sometimes they'd go from, oh my god, this character just died, it's so sad, to instantly snapping away to the next location and someone's making a joke. And you're like, well, you're not letting people feel the importance of these deaths. If the next scene's, oh, I'm making a joke now.
You said, Mo, you didn't like how they humanized Thanos.
I didn't like the way they tried to shoehorn, it in and make him way more sympathetic than he's been before. And I don't think it worked because he wasn't sympathetic at all. But they kept doing a load of scenes that implied, look how sympathetic he is, but he's not.
No. He's also a moron.
To be fair, he doesn't rule by brains. None of those Infinity Stones, besides mind, arguably, is anything to do with intelligence.
I know, but it's like, oh, I'm going to wipe out half the people because there's not enough resources. Or you could let the people live and just make more resources.
I mean,
to be fair, didn't he have the plan to wipe them out before he had the plan for all of the ability to warp reality and stuff?
Well, his original plan was always to wipe out half the populace, and he wanted the gems too. He wanted to get the gems so he could do that. But you would think if he said, well, you would think if he would say, well, this gauntlet gives me infinite power to do whatever I want, instead of killing half the population. I mean, he'd already been killing half the population of planets before, so clearly he was set in his way. I'm just saying he theoretically could have done that better.
It's because he's lying.
No,
because he's not that sympathetic. The only reason why is at the end, when he mentions he's going to save everyone, he's like, and I will be the ruler, and does that thing with the gauntlet. Like, oh, he's clearly doing this for power. Why are you trying to make out he's sympathetic?
Yeah, because I thought it was interesting how he's like, well, you have to give up the thing you love. And it was like, and Gamora's like, haha, you don't love anything. And I was like, no, bitch, it's you. And I knew that right away.
That was way too obvious that was going to happen, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't like the fact they killed Gamora, because there's a good chance if it's with the reality stuff, she may not come back.
Yeah.
Although I will say I did love they brought Red Skull back.
Yeah, why is Red Skull suddenly like Death and the Guardian of the Soul Stone? That was cool, but didn't make sense.
They explained it in the movie.
They did?
He literally gave a backstory about how he ended up there and how he got cursed by trying to take the Soul Stone, and now he was trapped there to watch over the place.
But how did he get there to take the Soul Stone in the first place? Last time we saw him, he was getting sucked into the Tesseract.
Which took him there.
Okay.
It was weird, but yeah, I'm just glad he's back, and I like the CGI. I think Pew said, or Simon said, one of the two, it was a different voice actor.
Yeah.
Yeah, they wanted to get Hugo Weaving back to do it, but unfortunately he turned them down, so they got some other dude to put the makeup on and do it.
But I will say, whichever dude they got did a good job impersonating Hugo Weaving, because he had the same deliverance on certain lines as Mr. Anderson. And I'm like, okay, I honestly thought, okay, that's Hugo Weaving.
Yeah, I thought so too. That guy did a good job.
Yeah, he did an awesome job. Also, I just have to say, all like the visual effects on here are very good and stuff. Not that I expect them to be terrible, but like,
yeah, the visual effects.
I forget which one now, but one of the Thor's ones, it was a bit much or something. I don't remember which one.
I did like the female enemy of his, female like lieutenant person who was leading the army.
Were they dark elves? They were like weird, like maybe think of like Kunari from Dragon Age or something, like the Horn people.
Yep.
What were they?
They're Thanos' children, but in terms of actual race, I don't know.
And you're going to hear it here first, Pew. I'm going to spoil the next movie for you. Everyone is brought back to life.
Oh my god!
The Avengers film afterwards, where it's called Avengers Secret War, and it turns out they're all Skrulls.
Ha!
Oh my god!
No, if they did that, I'd just be like, oh, fuck you.
Yeah.
But yeah, Thanos was really the star of this movie to build him up, which is fine. But I feel like they hyped up too much of the heroes connecting and then showed more Thanos than they did heroes.
They showed more Thanos than anything else.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, he's really fucking busy when he puts his mind to it. You know, as opposed to 10 years ago, he said soon. And then like 5 years later, he's like, oh yeah, I need to go do this myself. And then 5 years later, he finally gets to Earth, and he does everything in a day. It's like, what the fuck's wrong with you?
You know, he's biding his time.
Yeah.
Also, he's not as good as Thanos voiced by Pete from Mickey Mouse.
Ha.
I'm kidding with that, but that guy is fucking awesome in Superhero Squad. I like that film.
Nice.
But no, I did love a lot of what they did in the movie. I like I said, I do like it. I just wanted to mention the criticisms because I feel like people will deliberately ignore them and overblow it because a lot of people just get swept up in the hype.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll be like, oh my god, this is mind blowing. It's the best free film ever. It's like, no.
Yeah.
But it's still good. Yeah, it is pretty good. And like
Mhm.
various stuff in the movie was really good. Like I enjoyed going back to Wakanda.
Mm.
I enjoyed the fact she did something other than use fucking vibranium for stuff.
Yep.
That was handy. I don't like her line in the movie.
What line?
That just bugged me. Just the wording, kind of it, where Captain America's like, "How long do you need?" And she's like, "How long can you give? As long as you can, as long as you'll give me." And I'm like, "No, you need to set a time for how long you can do this." Instead of being like, because if you said a day or if you said an hour, you're still going to get it done. What?
Yeah.
The way it was worded sounded weird. It sounded like the opposite of what her intention was. Her intention was, please give me as much time as you can. The delivery was more along the lines of, I can do this as quickly as I want.
Yeah.
Is how it sounded like. I didn't like that line.
Yep.
But yeah, the effects looked great.
Yeah.
I liked Thor calling Rocket Raccoon Rabbit throughout the whole film.
That was fun.
I thought Vision was cool as like a person and stuff, so that was interesting.
Yeah. They did a good job on his and Scarlet Witch's relationship. And setting up that whole she's the only one powerful enough to destroy the gem. I actually bought that for a minute at the end where she blew the gem. And I'm like,
you bought that, you son of a bitch.
I know, I bought that. Like, oh, she destroyed the gem. That's kind of disappointing. I figured that was the gem. Oh, right, time gem. Right.
Yeah, literally when she was doing that, I'm going. I'm like, he's got a time gem here.
None of this shit matters.
Breathe time. He's just going to be rewinding it. Is all I'm thinking. And when she blows it up, I'm like, oh, okay. And then whoop, it just rewinds. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, there you go. I do like to see where she finally goes out of the battlefield and she like wrecks like a whole bunch of the army and the I don't remember who it was. I think it was Okoye. It's like, why have we been keeping her upstairs?
Yep.
That was fun. I like Giant Peter Dinklage. He was fun.
That was interesting.
He was fun, but his English accent isn't that convincing.
That's fair.
But he was still good.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed him as the giant dwarf.
Indeed. Although you kind of feel bad because the Rocket, that means that Thor and Rocket took off again and left him again with no forge and metal hands.
Also, because I swear he was alive at the end of Civil War. Where was War Machine?
Oh, wasn't he in there for like a little while? He was there for like a little while.
When he wasn't doing much of anything of importance.
He wasn't. He was the negotiator in the very beginning when talking to General Ross, I think.
Yeah, he was talking.
I mean, where was he in his War Machine suit?
He's on the Captain America side. He's not allowed to get involved. Or no, he's on the Iron Man side.
No, he was involved. He was in the Wakanda fight. He was flying around the air with Falcon shooting missiles and shit.
Oh, was he? I didn't even see him.
Yeah, him and Falcon were for air support. They were flying around.
Yeah, they didn't seem to be doing much, and that's kind of racist. If they're like, oh, he's black, and so's Falcon. Let's put him on the island of black people. Yeah, that's all they'll be good for.
Yeah, well, he in all fairness, there was one thing because when they started first breaking through the barrier, War Machine bombed the entire side of the barrier and killed a whole ton of the guys before they started realizing they were going to circle around if they didn't let him in the front. So
I seem to remember the missiles and stuff, so he might have been there, which is fine. I just don't seem to remember him doing much.
They didn't highlight him.
If you remember as shit as the movie was, Iron Man 2, this would have been a perfect time for Iron Man and War Machine to be back to back doing their laser trick thing that rotates around. That would have been awesome.
That would have been awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Also, why did they keep telling us, oh, look, Iron Man, he's such a good guy. Look how he walks out on his wife on a wedding day to go save the world. And you're like, I don't. Oh, okay. That seems like an unnecessary plot device or plot thread that was going.
I think it was
need
to
to be
make
there.
him almost dying even more surreal or something.
Yeah, but the second that started happening, my whole thought is he's not leaving these two movies alive.
Yeah. Because he wants to have a baby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh,
so
dear God.
I will say, I said to Pew, I do want, Jim, in one of the movies, even if it's just the next one, just so it's different, I want Bruce Banner to take control of the Hulk and force him to come out. But in doing so, boost his intelligence and lower his power and make him grey.
That would be awesome.
Because I like Grey Hulk, and we've seen a lot of Green Hulk. And if I can buy a Marvel Cinematic pop vinyl of Grey Hulk, I would be all over that.
Yeah. I did like Mark Ruffalo, because of all the people in this movie, Mark Ruffalo seemed like he was having the most fun.
Kind of, yeah.
Now, Thor explodes in. Oh, you guys are so screwed now.
Yep.
That was fun.
Yeah, well, they made him weird in this movie.
He was weird.
A little bit.
By the way, he was doing that, he went from being an intelligent scientist that was more reserved as he's been, even in Thor Ragnarok he was more reserved, to suddenly now he's acting sort of like Peter Parker's Spider-Man was in Civil War.
Yeah.
A little bit.
And I'm like, that doesn't seem right, where he's like fangasming over everyone, and you're like, oh.
I don't know. Also, based on what you said about Iron Man, I hope they're not going in this direction. You talk about, Peter wants a kid and wants an heir. Tell me he's not going to die. We're not going to find out in his will he left his company to Peter and turns it into Spider-Man Worldwide.
To be fair, the next Spider-Man film is him going global.
Oh, crap.
But we don't know. But I don't think it'll be worldwide because Peter's still in college. Is still young enough now that they want to milk the early days first. Plus,
true,
they've already started getting rid of that stuff now because he's lost his business and stuff in the comics and he's going back to be Peter. Almost as if that was infected entirely by the fact he was part of the cinematic universe. So they made him back to how he should be.
Yeah.
But the fanboys will say, no, it was never anything to do with the movies.
No, never at all. Of course not.
And it just goes to show full of shit. But yeah.
Yep.
I think we have our final thoughts.
Go ahead.
All right. The best strengths of the movie are the interaction with characters you don't normally get outside the realms. Weakness is Thanos is weird. Bruce is weird. The deaths are kind of clingy. But it's a great experience and it looks beautiful.
Okay.
Right?
I thought you were going to give it a rating.
Oh, awesome.
Fair enough. I thought you had a system.
I have a constantly changing system. If I find one that I really love, maybe I'll stick with it.
Well, how many out of 6 Infinity Gems would you rate it? Infinity Stones.
4.5.
Yeah, 4.5 Infinity Stones.
That'll work. Mole?
Personally, like I said, it had some issues. I only mentioned them just for the reasons I said. However, it's still a really good movie. There's still a lot to enjoy with the movie. In terms of how good it is compared to the other Marvel ones, because I feel that's the best way to judge it, I'd feel it's below Avengers, Iron Man, even 4-1, because I like those ones and stuff. But I'd probably put it around maybe about the same as Civil War, maybe a little below it.
Okay.
But it's still worth a check out, so I'll give it a thumb up and say go watch it. It's worth checking out today. Infinity War.
All right.
Only on PlayStation.
That's new. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna throw this in 85. It's an excellent movie. Even a 90. Maybe I'll be going to push to a 90. Somewhere between an 85 and a 90. It's a great movie. If you like the Marvel movies, you should definitely go check it out. Be aware it's going to be more focused on Thanos than on the heroes, but it is still really, and there is a big cliffhanger, but it is still a really enjoyable film. And, the characters are fun to see together. We saw interactions between characters that hadn't met before. So there was a lot of that in there to really enjoy. A lot of action. The special effects were great. Just overall, a very enjoyable film. There are two other things that I'm thinking about that I remember real quick.
You don't like the fact Black Widow seemed to have dyed her hair blonde?
I mean,
that did look off, but no.
Instead of, because she's meant to have ginger hair, she's meant to have like a red hair.
Yeah.
Technically, she's meant to have a Russian accent too, but they couldn't be asked with that either. But still,
No.
They had the hair right.
Yeah. But two things. One thing that I pick up on, number one, I was a little upset with what happened with Thor, primarily because we just spent the entirety of Thor Ragnarok, so Thor could learn that his power is within himself. He doesn't need a magical weapon to be strong. Cut to Infinity War. Thor's dying. He needs a magical weapon to be strong.
Yeah, to be fair, that's the same with Spider-Man. He doesn't need that suit to make him the best hero he can be. Gets the suit anyway.
We got the suit because he was going to suffocate without it, but...
But I think with Thor, it was more of a case of he was more than just the hammer. And when he's got the axe, he's still got like a massive power boost because he was still going like Super Saiyan as he was coming down with the fucking axe.
True. That's fair. The other thing was an interesting note, and I don't know if this is going to play into the next movie, but aside from a Hawkeye whom we haven't seen, so we don't know, did you notice that of the half of the people that disappeared at the end of the movie, none of them was one of the original 5 Avengers?
Yes, I noticed that very much. That's why I can call it was the Avengers B team disappearing. I mean, that's not really how it was, but that's how it was.
That's not true. Hulk's disappeared. Did you also notice something else? Not once did you get a shot of Agent Coulson trying to help out, or not once did you see Daredevil?
Jessica Jones or any of the TV people.
It's true.
Yeah, Daredevil's a little blind to this, referred to the acts of what was happening here, but yeah, you didn't see any of them. It's almost like they're not canon.
I didn't even see Cloak and Dagger anywhere.
Exactly.
I want to see their series, though. That looks cool.
The Runways is fun.
But not the Inhumans, from what I've heard.
No, that's shit. I think it's already been cancelled.
Has it? Cool.
But I think it was shit for shit, and it was never very good originally, right?
The Inhumans, I don't like the Humans in the comics. As a show, I could see why it would work. As much as I don't like it. However, they did everything possible to make sure this wouldn't work. Like, they even had a guy from Game of Thrones and Misfits as one of the lead characters. And you're like, oh, this could be really good. And somehow they still messed it up.
Wow.
That'd be like making a movie of Batman and casting a big A-list actor like, I don't know, Arnold Schwarzenegger or George Clooney and somehow screwing it up.
Alright.
Alrighty. So this has been Infinity War. Thank you for joining me. Again, it's in theaters now if people want to go check it out. And stay tuned for this coming weekend. We are on Saturday. Mole and I are going to take a look back at the greatest Royal Rumble pay-per-view from the WWE. And on Sunday, we're going to look at the Backlash pay-per-view. So it's a wrestling weekend. Sure, why not? And
also worth noting for people wondering, the greatest Royal Rumble does not have a VR experience.
That's good to know. All right. So, with that, thank you for joining me. This has been Infinity War. I'm James Phoenix. We'll see you next time.